Our cup of tea today comes in an absolutely ginormous mug. With a great beard comes great responsibility. If only my beard was as impressive as the beard on that mug. Yes, hello, welcome into Living Sports here for another episode of Glory Hunter, still with Villarreal here in October 2027. If you missed the last episode, go and check it out. It was a good one. And if you're new around here, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. This year we could win La Liga. It's the only trophy we need to get still in Spain before we can move on. So you've got to see if we do it. So stick around, hit that subscribe button, you won't miss an episode, and we'll see how we do in La Liga this year. Today we do have a game against Sevilla in La Liga, an important one, and also a game against Leon in our Champions League group stage. And if we have a quick look at our schedule, you'll see we've won every single game since we last met. In the last episode we had a 2-1 victory over Hertha Berlin and a 1-0 victory over Cadiz thanks to a late goal from Koundé, our most recent signing, this fantastic centre-back who we signed from Sevilla. Obviously, there's a story for you. We play against Sevilla today. Let's see how we get on against them and how Koundé gets on against his old team. I say, we won 4 games since that game against Cadiz. A 4-2 victory over Eibar. It looks closer than it really was. They scored a late goal to make it 4-2. We dominated that game. Goals from Foyt, Quinton, Esposito and Demir in that one. We then played against our opponents in the second game of today's episode, but in our first time we played against them in the group stage. You know what I mean? We won 3-2. It was a good comeback. We went down 2-0 early on in the game, but Vitina and then a double from Maronier got us a lovely 3-2 victory in that. We can see Maronier scored 2 goals in that game against Leon. He also scored one of the goals against Hertha Berlin. So Maronier being our European talisman, it would appear. We followed up that Leon game. We've had 2 tough games. In fact, it's a sequence of tough games in La Liga, but we played against Bilbao. We won 1-0. That was a tough away game there, thanks to a goal from Sander Berg. And then we played against Atletico Madrid. Norberto Mignini, early on in the game, got us a goal 5 minutes in. They went down to 10 men early in the second half, and in the end we dominated the game, but didn't really score goals. But who cares? We got a 1-0 victory. That's all that matters. And those results do leave us currently in 3rd place in La Liga. We are 5 points behind Barcelona. They have drawn a match and won all of their other ones. But we are 1 point behind Real Madrid if we win our game in hand. They've already played a game this week. So 5 points off Barcelona, 1 behind Real Madrid. Barcelona are quite good. Both Barcelona and Real Madrid are unbeaten this season. We've only lost that one game that was up against Barcelona. Obviously, we drawn with Real Madrid and Levante as well. Levante, who came 4th last year. So technically, the Champions League teams from last season are the only ones we've dropped points to. We've won our other 8 games. We need to continue winning the games at the moment. Continue the good winning form. But it's going to be a tough one up against 5th place Sevilla today. And then Nesri there, the striker, with being the top scorer in the league at the moment with 10. Our positive thing is we have got the most clean sheets. Our defence is certainly the best in the league. We've had 8 clean sheets so far this season. You can see 11 games played. That's a pretty decent record. So hopefully we can keep another clean sheet today as we play up against Sevilla and then our game against Leon in the second game in the episode. And you can see that's going to be an important one because at the halfway stage of this Champions League group, we are currently in 2nd place. We'll be getting into the Champions League knockout rounds. It'll be very, very useful for the money for Villarreal. Probably not that useful in terms of us winning a trophy because I don't think this Villarreal side are going to win the Champions League. There's a chance they might win the Europa League, but not the Champions League. But winning against Leon would almost guarantee us a Champions League knockout round spot. Do I want that to happen? I'm not sure, but we're definitely going to still go out to try to win the game. So this is the team we're going to go with for the game up against Sevilla, and it appears to be a fairly settled side. A few changes will happen ever so often, but more interestingly, this kind of right-hand side of the defensive part of the field appears to be comfortable now. Remember, we were playing Comper as a centre-back, Foyt as our defensive midfielder, and we thought, we got to play Koundé, so Koundé filled in at right-back, even though he's mainly a centre-back who can play right-back. In the end, Koundé was just too good to keep out there at right-back, so he's moved into the centre of defence. we've moved Comper into his very comfortable defensive midfield position. He actually prefers playing defensive midfield compared with centre back. And Foyt, who's more than comfortable playing at right back, is playing at right back there. It does mean Yarintsev has dropped to the bench, but defensively he's not quite been good enough for us this year. He's very good for going forward. He's still worth a lot of money. He's a good player. We'll mainly play him in games where we don't really have to defend that much because he's very good going forward. Foyt's a bit of a different type of player, a bit more defensively solid. So this is the way that our defence has been looking recently. Lots of experience across that back line. 30-year-olds, Torres and Zinchenko. Koundé's 28 and Foyt's 29. So experience across the defence. But anyway, that's how it's looking now. So this is the team for today's game. Carnesecchi in goal. Koundé, Torres centre-back. Foyt and Zinchenko out in the wide full-back positions. Compart, Berg and Pellegrini get the game today. Menini, obviously a very, very good player for us. He's our top scorer actually this season with 6 goals, but he's on the bench today. The experience of Berg and Pellegrini get the nod for me. Demir on the right, Esposito on the left, and Maroni leads the line. He appears to only score in Europe though, so maybe he won't score today, but we do have Quintin, Kwame, Menini, Vitina, Sanchez, Yarintsev and Thielman on the bench. I feel sorry for Vitina because we signed him to play in that midfield role, and then Menini kind of broke through, and Pellegrini's obviously still playing really well as well. He's not really getting as much game time as I liked, but he often covers for Berg in that Masala role. So when he does play, he has a very high rating. So he's doing pretty well, just not getting as much game time as I would have been hoping he would have got. So obviously we're up against En-Nesyri, who is the striker for Sevilla, currently the top goal scorer in La Liga. So it's going to be tough to try to keep him quiet. You can see they're playing a 4-2-3-1 and the three are very narrow, the attacking midfielders, not really playing with any wingers. So we'll see if we can perhaps exploit the wings, but they could possibly overload in the middle as we do have the ball on the left-hand side now. Pellegrini tried to get in behind Emerson Royal, but the ball's cleared away and Torres will collect it for us. And Zinchenko now down the left-hand side, exploiting the wings as we hope we could. Esposito reaches the byline, back into Pellegrini. Can he put the ball over? He does, and Maroni could have finished there, but poor effort from him, and it's cleared away by Sevilla. Good chance for us there. I would probably take a draw, but being at home and you being the favourite, I would really, really much rather the win as we demand some more from the team. And early yellow cards for both sides there as Sessegnon throws it in to Olivier, and Berg intercepts there, and Pellegrini launches it for Maroni. Can't get him behind the defence. It was just too heavy, that ball. And Erson clears it away. Can we win the header with Comper? We can indeed, and Maroni has it now. And Demir back toward Maroni, and Esposito now. Can he finish one-on-one? And he's not. It was wide to go. What a poor effort from last year's top scorer for us. As Emerson Royal throws it in, Pellegrini defends well with the header, but it comes back to Sevilla, and Ocampos tries to get past his man. Royal with a poor touch there as Zinchenko won the ball, and it's now out with Foyt on this right hand side. And can we go down the right? Demir is in behind his man here. He's in behind the man marking him. All the way back to Foyt, and we recycle the play. Berg back to Comper. Poor pass toward Pellegrini, and now Ocampos breaks away, but Pellegrini holds him up well, and it's forced all the way back to the defence of Sevilla and all the way back to the goalkeeper. And are Sevilla going to get a chance from this? Ocampos with it into En-Nesyri. And Ocampos again and Olivier, and it's wide of the goal. And this end-to-end stuff here. Just a couple of minutes later, Sessegnon throws it in, and Acuna plays it to Olivier. I'm saying Olivier, but it's probably Oliver, isn't it? And En-Nesyri, and he tucks that in. Carnesecchi with poor positioning from him for the goal there. And they're checking for offside, but I don't think it was offside. No, it didn't look offside at all. And En-Nesyri puts another one on the board for him this season. You can see he's well onside. The Carnesecchi with poor position there just runs out for no reason. And Sevilla are 1-0 up. 5 minutes until half time, and Sevilla launch it long, but we have won it now. Esposito plays it toward Maroni, and Pavlovic intercepts it. And Emerson Royal, what's he going to do? He goes all the way back to the keeper, and he launches it long. And Torres wins a header, and now we can maybe have a chance. Maroni out to the right hand side for Demir. There's men in the middle if he wants to put the ball in. He does. Berg gets fouled in the box by Pascozzi there, and that's going to be a penalty kick for us. And I'm assuming Esposito will be the man to go and take it. They're checking VAR. We know it's a penalty. He was pushed. You saw him fall over, and it looks like Esposito indeed is going to step up. And can he get us back on level terms just before the break here? Esposito hits it, and that is Well, that's an outstanding penalty. The goalkeeper dived the correct way. He dived to the correct corner, but it was just such a good strike that it was past him before he knew. What a finish from Esposito. He's fantastic from the penalty spot, and it's 1-1 as we go into half-time here. And we've been the better team this half, but we didn't really make our chances pay. Thankfully, we managed to get ourselves 1 goal, and now we have a chance to go and win this game in this second half. The team's not really playing that well. We'll probably make some early changes. However, I just paused it to make a change. There's a corner. Let's have a quick watch of that. Pellegrini into the front. Torres heads it over, and we will indeed make a change. Right, so a couple of changes we have made. We've moved Demir to a striker position for us. He's not played well on the right today, but we'll give him a chance up front. And Manini's come on for Moroni. Moroni was up front. Demir's moved to play up front instead, and Manini come on the right-hand side. And we've also brought Vitina on for Compar. Compar was playing okay, but he was on a yellow card, so we'll take him off. And we'll bring on Vitina to play in the defensive midfield position. Not a position I often play Vitina in, to be honest. But we'll see how he distributes the ball from there. He is a bit of a playmaker. Sevilla have a chance from a corner kick, and the ball's in, and it's off the top of the bar. Goodness me. We live to fight another day. You can look at the stats. We've dominated in terms of shots, and we've dominated in terms of XG, but we are just not getting ourselves another goal here. But we do have the ball with 23 minutes left in the game. Pellegrini forward to Esposito. He's in behind the defence here. Manini, can he finish? It's a good save for the goalkeeper. And it's out for a corner kick. And perhaps we can get a goal from this corner here. Pellegrini launches it in and Koundé heads it. And we are going to agree with what our assistant referee says and plays more direct passing and see if that helps us. Esposito with a free kick into the box. Demir tucks that in, and it's a fantastic finish from Josef Demir. Not even a check for offside. Often you get one when you score a goal from a free kick like that, but not today. Demir with a wonderful finish. Great ball over the top there from Esposito, and Demir with a wonderful volley into the goal. And that's us 2-1 ahead with just 15 minutes to go. Manini ball in. Demir heads it over the bar. Demir having a fantastic game now. We've moved him up front. 15 minutes on the clock, and you can see we've totally dominated this game, but this is exactly the sort of game that Sevilla would probably come back and get an equaliser in unless we can somehow get ourselves a third goal. There are just a few minutes to go. We'll take off Berg, we'll bring on Thielmann and move Vitina forward. Thielmann can play as that defensive midfielder for us as that ball was launched long, but I imagine this highlight will come to nothing, as it often does when you've not paused it when you make a change. But Enesri is in behind here. Offside, indeed, has come to nothing. We've changed the defensive mentality for the last 5 minutes here, but we do have the ball as Esposito has it, and no other on defensive. Zinchenko going for the overlap, ball into Manini, and that would have put us beyond any chance of a Sevilla comeback here. However, they have launched it long. Koundé wins a header, not bad for someone who's only 5'11". Vitina, Demir with it now, over to Esposito on the left-hand side, men in the middle if he wants to find them. He plays it back to Zinchenko. Back to Esposito, back to Zinchenko. Can the ball get put into the middle? He reaches the byline, comes back to Pellegrini, has a chance, ball in, and Manini at the back post. Lorenzo Pellegrini crosses the ball in. Manini scores the goal. Manini, remember, who kind of forced Pellegrini out the team in midfield so far this season. Well, Pellegrini gets the game in the midfield today. Manini came off the bench to play on the right wing, and they've both combined to get ourselves a goal, and we lead 3-1 here. Lovely ball into the back post. Lovely header from Manini getting past his man. We've had 30 shots today compared to Sevilla's 7. Think it's safe to say with an XG of 3.74, we deserved the win in that one. 3-1. Good result indeed, and that keeps us in that title fight. You can see just 1 point behind Real Madrid, 2 points off Barca, but they do still have a game to play, so you imagine they'll go 5 points clear again at the top. But I'll let you know how they get on in their game, and then we'll see you for that game against Leon in the Champions League. Well, Barcelona did win 2-0, so they are 5 points clear of us again, but we're just 1 point off Real Madrid. It's very, very tight at the top there. Barcelona, if they lose one game, or even draw it, ourselves and Real Madrid are right back in that race. We're still in the race. We're just a little bit further away than I would like to be, especially when the goal difference is plus 34. That was helped by those 5-0 and 8-0 victories early on in the season, wasn't it? But we'll be back for the game against Leon, and hopefully we can do well in that one. Or maybe not do well in that one if we want to go in Europa League. Who knows? Right, so here we are back for this game against Leon. We've got a slightly rotated side because we've got some tired legs out there. And then obviously quite a lot of people aren't registered for this competition. I forgot about that. We were struggling for some of the homegrown rules. So Karnaseci will stay in goal, but Thielman will partner Torres at centre back. Yarintsev on the right and Manu Sanchez at left back. Kompar, Vitina and Menini the midfield three. Demir on the right. Kouame gets the game on the left and Moroni leads the line again. Remember, he only appeals to score in Europe. So let's see if we can do it today. So we are playing in red, Leon playing in white, because of course white and yellow must be some type of kit clash, right? Sure. But we've got the ball back here. Moroni nearly got on the end of it as Adley has it in the midfield for Leon. They've had all the shots so far. We've had hardly any of the ball. And we've had no shots of our own in the first 16 minutes as Paqueta has it. And War and Dembele. And Walker Peters, who's playing it right back for Leon today, comes down this right hand side, plays it into Workaria. Walker Peters on it again. Can he put the ball in the middle? He does, and we just about get rid of it. That was nearly us down 1-0 early on this game, and Leon have been absolutely dominant in this. I'm going to give a little shout of encouragement. Hopefully the team pick up, and indeed we have. We've got ourselves a few more shots, and we're getting ourselves back into this game with a little bit more of the ball. But unfortunately, we've not got to see any of that, because there's been hardly any highlights in this first half at all. Here is one for Leon, though. Walker Peters, ball into the middle. Adley has it. Forward to Correa. Challenged by Manu Sanchez. Adley hits it. Good save from Karnaseci. I was worried we'd given away a penalty kick there, but we hadn't. And we've headed the ball away. And it looks like we're going to get to half time. Level pegging here in a pretty boring first half. Indeed we have. That was very boring indeed. The second half has begun. And, well, at least there's a highlight earlier on in this than the first half, as Menini has it. Finds Vitina. And it's forward toward Moroni, the man who scores in European competitions. Demir. Back to Yarintsev, who's on a yellow card. Vitina back over to Menini. And Kouame with it. And Kouame. Moroni just wide of the goal. Good chance for him there. The Champions League specialist. And not quite getting the goal. But maybe he could get one later on in this game. I say none draw probably wouldn't be that bad away from home away in France. But we'd like a goal. Moroni's won the ball back and it's off the inside of the post. What a chance for the Champions League goal-scoring specialist there to add another one to his tally. But it wasn't to be as that highlight comes to an end. And we should probably make some subs here. Demir especially is a little bit tired. So what we'll do is we'll bring Quinton on to play out on the right. And is that a sensible thing to do? No, I'll be honest, I'm not sure it is. We'll move Kouame to play out on the right. We'll bring Quinton on up front, and we'll bring Esposito on the left-hand side there. And who else should we take off? Nobody yet. It's only 65 minutes on the clock. I don't want to make all three changes quite at this point. And it's been a game with not many highlights in it, but there is one here as Walker Peters comes forward for Leon here on their right-hand side. Forward to Correa. Good challenge from Pau Torres. But Correa still ends up with the ball. And Walker Peters down the right. In toward Correa. Men in the middle. One of them is Kakare there. And he just had that shot wide of the goal. We'll take off Torres. Bring on Foyt as they recommend as Torres is getting tired. Again, we have been in. We've been in the game. We've not really taken dominance in this game, really. It's one of those ones that, yeah, looking at the stats, we had more shots on target, but lower XG. We had less of the ball. We didn't complete as many passes as we should have. Committed more fouls. A draw's probably fair. It's just disappointing it was a 0-0 draw as it's come to an end there in a fairly limp fashion. So that draw does leave us second in our Champions League group. 3 points ahead of Leon. If Chelsea win their game against Berlin later on today, they'll be out of sight. But we're still holding on to second place, so that's a positive thing. It leaves everything up for grabs going into the last Champions League game, which is up against Chelsea, which we'll get to see in the next episode. So yes, we've got a few more games to go until that one, but Chelsea in the last Champions League group stage game, and then the game against Leganes before our mid-season winter break sounds like, or looks like, a good time to come back. We'll see how we're getting on after the first half of the La Liga season, and we'll see if we get into the knockout stages of the Champions League, or if we need to beat Chelsea to get into it. So that should be very exciting indeed. So if you have enjoyed this episode, a 3-1 win over Sevilla and then a strange 0-0 draw against Leon, please do leave a like on the video. It really does help us out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and until the next one, which will be those games against Chelsea and Leganes, we'll see you then.